Hello there, it's Samantha. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi, hello. My name is Samantha, and this is my channel where I talk all about books, and sometimes I'll do other things, and I'm currently doing Vlogmas. I'm doing a combination of vlogs and also sit-down videos, like today's video. Today I'm going to be talking about all of the books that came out in 2019 that I have not read and really want to. So like these are the 2019 releases that I've missed. This year in particular, I have been so bad about keeping up with BookTube and new releases and all sorts. I have pretty much no idea what's going on in the book world, but I'm getting back into it now that I have all of this free time. I've been watching a lot of BookTube and I've been trying to educate myself on everything that I've missed this year. So I'm just gonna go through my list of books that I've missed out on. And I don't know the summary to all of these because I just know that I've heard a lot about it and I'm interested in it, but I don't really know what it's entirely about. So we're just gonna get into it and I'll describe the ones I know how to describe and the other ones I'll link the Goodreads page down below. So the first book on my list is A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling about a girl who has cerebral palsy. And then I think in like the world with the Beast, she doesn't have it anymore. She doesn't suffer from the symptoms. I'm not really sure, but that's just like that's part of the story, but not the main focus. And then obviously, yeah, it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I've heard really great things. I'm not sure if it's the first in a series or if it's a standalone. I don't know, but I love retellings, I love fantasy, and I love Beauty and the Beast, so I think it's going to be a great time. The next book on my list is On the Come Up by Angie Thomas. This is a kind of companion sequel to The Hate U Give. I read that, I think I read it the year it came out, and I loved it so much. So I really wanted to read this book, and I just did not get to it in the end. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure what this one's about again, but I feel like it deals with similar themes to The Hate U Give. But also I know that the main character wants to be like a rap star, so there's that aspect too. The next one is another fantasy that I don't know anything about, but it's called Four Dead Queens by Astrid Schultz. I just read the Goodreads description of it, and I still don't really know how to describe it, but basically all I know is that it's kind of like a murder mystery and fantasy plot. I think the two people who are enemies have to like work together to like solve what's happened, and I'm very excited to read it. It just sounds really good, and I love fantasy, I love mystery, I love like enemies to friends or enemies to lovers. I love that trope so much, so I really think that this is gonna be one that I'll enjoy. The next one is actually terrible, and that is The Red Scrolls of Magic by Cassandra Clare and Wesley Chu. I have not read this or picked it up. I don't own it, and I want to because I love Cassandra Clare. Although with that being said, I was highly disappointed with Queen of Hair and Darkness, but we're not going to talk about that. But I still will read anything that Cassandra Clare writes, so of course I still want to read The Red Scrolls of Magic. Also, I believe it's about Magnus and Alec, and I love Magnus and Alec. So, of course I want to read more about them. I want to read it, and I haven't yet. The next one on my list is actually like terrible that I haven't read it because I love contemporary, but I have just been in such a fantasy kick this year that I've barely read any, and I've missed out on this massive release which everybody loves, and that is of course Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuestion. Everyone loves this. Everyone loves it. So many people have read this multiple times this year, and I haven't even read it once, which is terrible. I definitely need to get on this one soon. I'll probably be buying it sometime after Christmas. And another contemporary that I've missed out on this year is The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. I do actually know the plot of this book. This is an enemies to lovers romance, and I'm so excited because I love that trope, as I said. But I'm pretty sure this book is about basically the main character's sister gets married, and at the reception everyone eats like everyone eats something apart from the main character and then the best man. They, for some reason, don't eat that thing. So everyone gets food poisoning, including the bride and groom. But instead of wasting their honeymoon, they decide to send the main character and the best man on the honeymoon, even though they don't like each other. But then obviously they're gonna grow to like each other. And I just think it sounds like so much fun. And as I said, I love that enemies to lovers trope, so I really want to read that. The next book on my list is Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. I do actually have the audiobook of this. I just haven't listened to it yet, but I really want to read this. I think it's the first book in a new fantasy trilogy series something. A new fantasy something. It's not a standalone though, I don't think. It could be. I don't know. You see how out of the loop I am? It's terrible. But yeah, I've heard very good reviews of this book also. It has a beautiful cover, and I love anything fantasy. I feel that so many times in this video, but yes, fantasy is my fave. The next one on my list is Wayward Son by Rainbow Rowell. I have not read this yet or bought it yet, but basically I really want to reread Carry On first before I read Wayward Son, so I haven't picked it up yet. which is terrible. But I definitely want to at some point very soon. But unfortunately, I'm only at home for like a very small amount of time, so we're gonna see how it goes. The next book is The Beautiful by Renee Ahdieh. All I know is that this is a vampire book, and I have not read a vampire book in the longest time, and I've heard really good things, and I'm pretty sure it's set in, I want to say it's set in New Orleans, and I love that setting, especially for vampires. If you watched The Vampire Diaries, you might have also watched the spin-off show, The Originals, and that took place in New Orleans with vampires and werewolves and witches, and oh, it's so fun. So I think this is like a historical fiction and vampire book, and I just live for that shit. Give me all the historical fiction with vampires. I love it. I live for it. So I'm very excited to read that. The next one is one that I have actually already ordered, and it is waiting for me at home, so I will be hopefully reading it this year, and that is Into the Crooked Place by Alexandra Christo. I read her first book, To Kill a Kingdom, earlier this year, and I absolutely loved it, so I very much want to read this one very soon. The next one on my list is The Star of the Sea by Erin Morgenstern. I read The Night Circus by her many years ago, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I've heard that The Star of the Sea is just a masterpiece, even better than The Night Circus, so I very much want to read this. It sounds so intriguing. I'm pretty sure it's about this boy, and like for some reason he finds his life story like in a library. Like, I'm not really sure, and then I don't know, I feel like that's part of the premise, but I don't know, maybe I'm getting it confused, who knows. And the final book on my list is Children of Virtue and Vengeance by Tomi Adeyemi. This is, of course, the sequel to Children of Blood and Bone. I do need to reread Children of Blood and Bone before I get to this book, so I will not be getting to it this year, but I would like to get to it at some point soon. But this is the problem with fantasy, is that I love reading it all in one go, because otherwise I forget things. So I don't know, I'm becoming one of those people who just needs to marathon series, but then I'm so out of the loop because I haven't read the books. But I don't know. Anyway, so those were all of the 2019 releases that I've missed, that I know of. I know there are more, but those are like the ones that I've always heard people talk about them and always thought, ooh, I want to read that, but I haven't done it. But please let me know some books that you've missed from this year down below. I would love to know. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe down below, and I will see you tomorrow with another video, because it's Vlogmas, so I'm posting every day. But yes, anyway, bye!